Cuckoo! What are you doing, Ronald? Shh.
I'm giving McDonald's gift certificates to all my friends.
There was nothing quite like waking up on Christmas morning in the 1970s and finding that lumpy, overstuffed stocking hanging by the fireplace or taped to the wall near the tree. Before the mountain of gifts came the little things, the treasures that somehow felt just as special. No batteries required, no instruction manual needed, just joy in miniature form. Let's take a peek inside those stockings of the past and remember the tiny surprises that made Christmas morning pure magic. Number 1. Lifesavers Storybook.
This is Pete, who let the puck get by him and lost the hockey game.
Hey, son, have a wintergreen Lifesaver.
Was there a great flavor has been around for years and years?
You know, when I fumbled and lost the West High game, it took a whole roll of Lifesavers to make me feel better.
This wasn't just candy. It was a tiny adventure tucked into a stocking. Each storybook came with little embossed Lifesaver candies snugly placed inside, so every page turned came with a sweet reward. The illustrations were full of whimsical holiday scenes, and reading it felt like flipping through a miniature comic or picture book just for you. You'd reread the same story countless times, savoring the minty or fruit-flavored rings between chapters, each one a tiny moment of magic.
Watch this.
Lifesavers Roll Candy takes Suzanne Summers back home.
I did that better when I was a kid here in San Bruno, California, because my dad would give me cherry Lifesavers for every cartwheel, so I did lots of them.
For a few minutes, the storybook transformed a simple stocking into an entire holiday experience. The combination of colorful pictures, crunchy candy, and that sense of discovery made it feel like Christmas morning all over again. Even years later, just seeing a Lifesaver ring evokes that mix of anticipation and delight you felt as a kid. Number 2. Wacky Packages Stickers. Before Pokemon cards or Garbage Pail Kids, we had wacky packages, those hilarious, slightly gross parodies of everyday products. Crust toothpaste, Blunder Bread, Gadzuka. We'd peel and stick them on notebooks, lunchboxes, or our bedroom doors, giggling every time someone spotted one. Getting a fresh pack of wacky packs in your stocking was like winning comedy gold. Number 3. Jack's Set. Every kid's stocking had the potential for a mini hand-eye showdown with a tiny metal ball and those spiky little jacks. The Jack set wasn't just a game, it was a test of dexterity, patience, and bragging rights. You'd kneel on the living room floor, toss the ball, and scramble to scoop up the jacks before it bounced again, each clink against the hardwood making your heart race. Playing alone was a quiet challenge. Playing with siblings or friends turned it into a competitive frenzy, complete with disputes over who got the last jack or who cheated by moving too fast. And somehow, even though the pieces were small and could easily disappear under the couch or rug, losing a few jacks didn't ruin the fun. It added to the treasure hunt feeling of the game. Those simple metal spikes and a tiny rubber ball somehow captured the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in just one stocking-sized package. Number 4. Lip Smackers. For any 70s or early 80s kid, a lip smacker in your stocking was pure gold, a tiny tube of flavored magic that promised sweet-smelling lips and a little bit of grown-up glamour. The Dr. Pepper, bubblegum, or wild fruit flavors were the ultimate treasure, and somehow just holding one felt like a secret indulgence. They weren't just about taste. The pastel tubes, the fruity scent, and the sticky little smooches you left on your fingers made each one a mini adventure. Kids would trade flavors in the playground, hoard extras in their pencil cases, or sneak them into pockets for later. And even though the flavors eventually faded or melted in the summer heat, the memory of twisting the cap and rubbing on that sugary, shiny gloss is still sticky in the best way. A little reminder of the simple joys that made stocking stuffers feel like treasures. Number 5. McDonald's Gift Certificate.
It was Christmas Eve in McDonald's land. Everyone was asleep except Ronald, who had other plans. Out of his bed, he silently crept.
Cuckoo! What are you doing, Ronald? Shh.
I'm giving McDonald's gift certificates to all my friends.
Nothing made a kid feel like they'd hit the jackpot quite like a McDonald's gift certificate tucked in their stocking. These little slips of paper were more than just a free burger or fries. They were a ticket to independence, a chance to escape the house for a quick adventure, and a secret treat that didn't require permission slips or chores. You imagined the sizzle of the grill, the smell of fries, and the joy of picking your favorite Happy Meal toy.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Ronald.
Today's subject, the Hamburglar.
Sometimes you'd clutch it tightly in your pocket all day, planning exactly how you'd spend it, debating between a Big Mac or a triple cheeseburger and whether to get a chocolate shake or a root beer float. Sharing it with a sibling was a delicate negotiation. You didn't want to ruin the magic, but maybe a French fry or two could slip through. That tiny piece of paper held more excitement than most presents under the tree. And it was a reminder that Christmas magic could be simple, delicious, and perfectly fast food-sized.
Ronald McDonald and friends in the Hamburglar Touch.
Rabble cheeseburgers.
That Hamburglar wishes everything he touches would turn to McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers?
All right, real talk. If you've watched more of these videos than you've eaten chocolate coins from a net bag, it's probably time to subscribe. I'll keep delivering the cozy Christmas nostalgia. You just hit that button, and we'll call it even. And if you're on Facebook, come join our little retro holiday party. We've got memories, mayhem, and at least 3 people still arguing about whether the Lifesavers Storybook belonged in every stocking. Number 6. Crafty and creative kits. No stocking was complete without a bit of 1970s DIY magic. Mocket and Bucket stained glass kits, paint-by-number sets, or a packet of embroidery floss, something that promised hours of hands-on fun once the wrapping paper settled. Sure, half of us burned a finger or made a glittery mess, but finishing that little sun catcher or Christmas ornament made us feel like real artists. Number 7. Chocolate coins in a net bag. These little treasures were the ultimate stocking stuffer, a shiny foil-wrapped promise of chocolatey delight. The coins came in a tiny net bag, so you could shake it, hear the clink, and imagine you were opening a treasure chest. Each coin was a perfect bite-sized indulgence, and the novelty of real, gold-looking chocolate made you feel like a pirate counting your loot. They weren't just candy, they were a tactile experience. Opening the net, unwrapping the foil, and sometimes carefully saving the best ones for later, even though you knew you'd end up eating them all before breakfast. Sitting by the Christmas tree, nibbling on a chocolate coin while watching the colored lights flicker across the room, it felt like the magic of the holiday condensed into a tiny, edible bundle of joy. Even decades later, the crinkle of the foil brings back that exact feeling of childhood anticipation. Number 8. Annual date books. These little pocket calendars were everywhere, free at Hallmark stores or tucked into Christmas cards. Moms loved them, but even kids used them to doodle, track birthdays, or pretend they had very important appointments. They smelled faintly of ink and optimism, a promise that the coming year would be full of good things, and maybe a little more candy. Number 9. Yo-yos.
Duncan, the greatest name in yo-yos and a super name in fun, brings you Disco Duncan.
Use the Imperial for walking the dog.
A Duncan or Whammo yo-yo stamped official on the side was practically a badge of honor. You could walk the dog around the world or accidentally hit yourself in the forehead, all part of the charm. A good yo-yo could keep you busy for hours, winding and unwinding that string like a tiny physics experiment powered by pure determination. Before we hang up our stockings for good, let's take a peek at a few of your memories from the last video. These comments are the best part of making these videos. Every one of them feels like a little Christmas card from you. So, I'd love to feature your stocking memories next time. What tiny treasures did you always find waiting on Christmas morning? A Lifesavers Storybook? Chocolate coins? Maybe those Dr. Pepper lip smackers? Drop your memories down below. And who knows, your story might pop up right here on screen in the next video. Number 10. Socks or mittens. The stocking classic. The gift that made you groan as a kid but secretly appreciate as an adult. Usually knitted, sometimes striped, occasionally itchy, but always warm. They filled the toe of the stocking like a soft little secret. And no matter how many toys or trinkets you pulled out, somehow it never felt complete until you reached the cozy pair tucked in the bottom. Before the age of gadgets and gift cards, Christmas stockings were the purest kind of magic. They weren't about price tags, they were about surprise. A little candy, a small toy, something shiny, something silly. Those tiny treasures, pulled one by one from a sagging red sock, carried all the excitement of the season. And somehow, even now, the smell of peppermint or the crinkle of foil can take us right back, sitting in our pajamas surrounded by wrapping paper and wonder. Because in the 1970s, Christmas didn't need to be big to feel special. Sometimes the smallest gifts held the biggest memories.